Tonight I am looking at the Mitsubishi MU-2, and it's a high-wing twin-engine turboprop with a pressurised cabin, and it's been manufactured by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. It's quite a detailed aircraft by Builds. I bought it a while back but didn't really get into it because what you'll see when I show you the starting process is that it's not actually it doesn't start straight away, so when you think it starts and then you get all confused and you wonder if you're doing it wrong and you give up on it. But I've come back for a second look, and after a flight earlier on today, I've got to say it's actually really nice to fly. So I'm going to go through the start list with you, and hopefully if you've got this aircraft and you've sort of stuck it in the back of your inventory and not got it out for a while, it'll give you a bit of encouragement to get it out and have a go, because it is a fantastic aircraft. It's really, really detailed. So let's get in and have a look. I'm not sure if any parts inside are actually operational, like the doors and stuff. Oh no, they are. Okay, so let's jump inside, and then I'll just take you a tour inside the aircraft, and then we'll go through the startup procedure. Okay, so we leave the flight deck and come through. We've got space for 5 people, and we have a table which I don't think is functional in this. Oh no, it is. Okay, so it folds up, so that works. We have lights which don't work. Does the door open? Oh, okay, that may well be some light in there. Great. The door is a functional door. And that's what we get with the back of the aircraft. So if we come through, it does come with 4 liveries, I think. I've just gone for the standard white livery here today. Okay, so let's go through the checklist, and we'll do it by the book. So we'll grab the checklist up. I never really bother with the preliminary cockpit preparation because that's how it is from start. So we'll just go from here where we get to engine start. So what we want to do is turn the battery to on. We want to check the parking brake is set. Go over to the beacon light, and the beacon light is above here. So if you have a key, I wonder if I've mapped a key yet. No, I've not. So let's do that now. So here is all your instrument lights and your exterior lights, and this is your beacon one, and you want to set that to beacon taxi. And then we're going to come down, and after we've done these to taxi as well, you come down here and go to the left prop lever. So these are already preset to taxi, but if they come in yours and they're down here, you just want to set it to just taxi is underneath the line. If you go before that, you're in cruise and it starts lagging forward when you're trying to taxi out. It's a bit of a nightmare. So just below it's taxi, and then you want to put your throttle lever to the start, which is just that. So we'll start with the left side. So these want to go to ground, so that starts to ground. Then you're going to go in and rich. You're going to send this to center, which is the crank, and press the run button. This is where it takes a while to start, okay? So you start to think you've done something wrong. You haven't. In a moment you hear a cranking system and you'll start to notice temperatures rising on this side. So the RPM's running up. You want to monitor the oil pressure below 40, so you can engage here the main tank, which will start the engine. And we're just going to drop here and set that to run. And then you just got to monitor to make sure that these stay within the green tolerances. Okay. So now we can turn on this left-hand generator. You'll see the voltage indicator come up here. And that is first engine start and ready to go. So we're going to just repeat that process for the second engine. So it's down to ground, then onto fuel and rich, set the middle switch to crank, add ignition. And we're just waiting now. It's just a waiting game for this one to start up. There we go. So we're going back over to our dials. Checking that the oil pressure doesn't exceed 40. Introduce the fuel. Set to run. And then you're just monitoring. Okay. So we're happy with all these within the green. Green within green for all four. The oil temperatures are in the green. Throttles are not too worried about at the minute. So I've set these to run. And then we just need to check that these gearings have gone to safe, which they have. Now I can prepare for taxi. We've already set that. Let's just go and set these lights. So we want the nav, the strobe, got the beacon set to taxi, and that's an inoperative one. Then you've got all your cockpit ones, panel lighting, whatever else you need. Pitot heaters, I mean we'll switch them on. We won't be climbing out to that sort of temperature where it will get too cold. Tow brakes are on hold, we've already done that. So we want to be, what it's saying there is you want to be holding that brake in when you release the parking brake. There's a couple of things we need to do before that. And that is, make sure your right generator switch is on. And then what we're going to do is, that switch there needs to go to up. And that will set the Garmin's to on. Over on this side, we've not got a lot of buttons that are most are in up. So tow brakes are on, and then we need to throttle those levers back. Okay. Just throttle them back slowly. Then we're going to be taxiing out slowly. So we've pre-done these bits for takeoff. The ice we don't need. Set the trim to 2 degrees nose up. Now this is important because this plane does require trim. So give yourself that 2 degrees trim, and then you want to come over here, set yourself 20 degrees of flaps. We'll taxi out with these two at taxi, and then we're going to push them all the way forward to take off. And then throttle levers also want to go up to take off, and we want to get to 115 knots before we rotate. Okay. So let's start moving forward. So foot on the brake, parking brake removed, and as soon as you remove off that toe brake, you're moving.
Vandenberg ground Mitsubishi 0121 request taxi for straight out departure with Gulf.
Mitsubishi 0121 taxi to and hold short of runway 30 via taxiway Alpha. Contact tower on 124.905 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 30 via taxiway Alpha Mitsubishi 121.
So this aircraft was first produced in 1963, and it was produced until 1986, but I do think it looks very modern for its age. Certainly one of those planes that hasn't aged. But just taxiing that now, like I say, if you're not careful, it will get away from you with the with it being a taxi. But you can pull this back slightly, you see, if you need to. You don't have to go to full taxi. Well, it's not too bad when you're on a straight run like this. But even with them set back, you can see how it's still firing away. So we'll do a loop and come back to this airport because it's got a nice long runway that I've been practicing on. But it's quite steady when you get the flaps set down for landing. It's quite a nice plane to bring into land. Just tapping them brakes again to try and slow it down, because it is really trying to get up there. There we go, so we'll just bring ourselves to a stop here.
Tower Mitsubishi 0121 ready at runway 30 straight out departure.
Now once they give you clearance, I put these up to take off and cruise. It's just one last job you have to do once you line yourself up on the
Cleared for takeoff runway 30 Mitsubishi 121.
on the runway. So we've got our flap set to 20 degrees. Our nose is pitched up 2 degrees. And we're going to rotate at 115 knots. So I'm not even put any throttle on yet, and you can see how it's running away now. So let's start putting some power in. There's a bit of a left kick to it. There's 115. Slowly rotate back. got a positive rate of climb in here. Just going to maneuver those gear levers up. And just slowly climb out. Just get to 1,000 foot. Just bring one level of them flaps up. Be prepared to hold on then, because you are going to have to take a bit of the responsibility for the yoke. So I'm only going to climb up to 2,000. So I'm going to bring my last level of flaps up, and I'm just going to bring this down a little bit because you've got that whole thing to fly, you see there.
Mitsubishi 121, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Right, and you want to bring
Tower
this back as well
Mitsubishi
to cruise.
0121 frequency change. Los Angeles Center Mitsubishi 0121 is type
There we go.
Mitsubishi MU-2 3 miles northwest of Vandenberg, 2,600 feet. Request flight following.
So we'll take a right turn.
Mitsubishi 0121, Los Angeles Center. Squawk 1601.
Squawk 1601 Mitsubishi 121.
Mitsubishi 121 radar contact 4 miles northwest of Vandenberg, 2,600 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
Roger Mitsubishi 121.
These did take part as was Japanese self-defense aeroplanes during that period of operation, and there was a number of them used for transport purposes, passenger aircraft, etc., in the later C models. It is really quite smooth to fly. I mean, there's the airport there, look. Just fly downwind and come back round, and then we'll prepare the landing checklist. I'll just sort of give you an idea of how I bring the aircraft down to land. And you really don't have to worry, you know, if you bring your speed down and you think you're a little bit low, it picks up so fast that you don't need to worry. In fact, this airport over here is only 8 miles away. So let's go down there and we'll land over there. So it will fly quicker than 160 knots if you want. It's just because I've got this so low down. You can go up a little bit if you want to bring it forward. In the textbook, the ideal torque pressure is between 45 and 50. So, but once you do that, you know, you have got a bit of a battle with the nose wanting to lift, so you have to put some trim on. But like I say, it can get up to 200 knots quite easily. It's not a slow aircraft. Keep an eye on these temperatures, more than the green. Okay, so now we're sort of coming alongside this runway. What we're going to do is start our descent. So in order to do the descent, you want to bring these to take off and then bring your speed down on your throttle quadrant. You'll see the speed drop off quite rapidly, but like I say, it can be added in again very easily. So anywhere after 150 knots it's acceptable to start using your flaps. So we'll introduce the first stage as we come round on the bend towards this airport. So I'm just going to increase the throttle a little tiny bit, and you'll just see how it just shoots back up. That's a fraction of adjustment. So I've managed to descend down 1,000 foot. And we're going to turn back in on ourselves. We'll just lower the landing gear now and introduce one more stage of the flaps. So 3 green lights. And we've got a second layer of 20-degree flaps. I'm just going to turn in, keeping that speed in the green. So if you need to increase it slightly, do it. Fractions of adjustments are needed here, not great a deal. Just going to ease off that speed a little bit. We come into the final leg. Now I'm going in with the third level of flaps. So now at full flaps, it's very easy to control now. And it just steady sliding globe to a touchdown there. This airport is difficult to land in because it's got trees on either side. So you can't come in low, you've got to be right on the money. Now you can see just how much power, that's just a glimpse. It really doesn't struggle. It's got reverse thrust as well if you need to use them. Flare the back. Down we go. Reverse thrust. There we have it. Mitsubishi MU-2. Just clear the runway and I'll show you how to shut the aircraft down. Just set it off here. So, first job, Set the parking brake. I'm just going to bring this down to taxi. Once we're at taxi, and drop out the first and go down to stop. Same for the second engine. Disconnect the fuel line and down to stop. These two switches should be in safe, which they are. And then you can just go through the rest of the systems, going through the shutdown procedure. That's all there is to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.